Welcome back to Raiders Stadium. It is in a packed house, and we're still a few minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff. Earlier, Steve Gant had a chance to talk with third-year head coach Rick Van Hoy and what his Raiders' chances look like tonight.
Thanks, guys. We're here with Raiders head coach Rick Van Hoy. Rick, I tell you what, it's no secret about it. You guys have played two tough tasks already. It don't get no easier for you. A.L. Brown bunch is a well-coached, well-prepared bunch. I know you got your hands full. You know that.
We certainly do. And like I say, they're one of the top teams in the state, and we knew that before the season started. Their first game didn't show anything to disprove any of those accolades that they received before the season. It's a very, very tough football team.
Well, Monday morning when you start practice, the guys know their next opponent is A.L. Brown, the Wonders from A.L. Brown. Do they get down or do they get up? I mean, no one coming into the ball game, do they feel like, gosh, we can't beat this bunch, or is it, can they be a giant killer? Can they play with them and beat them?
Well, coming off two bad losses like we've had, two very disappointing losses, we practiced Monday morning at 8 o'clock, and all our kids showed up. So right there we knew that we were going to be all right this week. They could have very easily, gave us an excuse. They were going out of town, they're going to be doing this, they're going to be doing that. But they were all here ready to go at 8 o'clock in the morning. We had a good practice Monday morning, and that's what set the tone for the week. And we had a good week of practice, maybe our best week all year. So, who knows? Maybe something good will happen.
Rick, your job is teaching fundamentals, and I know you guys work fundamentals, but what's it going to come down to tonight? Could it be a big play, a break, intercepted pass, a block punt? What do you look for?
We've got to have some breaks, and of course any football team has to have breaks here. We've got to play pretty much air free and not have the big penalty, not give up the big play for them. Just try to be as sound as possible on both sides of the football, and just play tough and go all out on every football play.
Any given night, anybody can beat anybody else. This bunch comes in here unscored on it. Nobody's gotten the end zone all year. If you guys can punch one over early in the game, will that be an uplifting? Will that be a mental boost for you?
Well, obviously, we want to play well. We're obviously concerned about Kannapolis and know they're a good football team, but we've got to worry a lot about South Rowan as well. We want our kids to get better from week to week, and we did that last week. We got better from the week before, and we've got to play better this week than we did last. And other things will take care of themselves, and we just got to play hard on every play.
You said it all. You got to play hard. We want to thank you for talking to us and wish you well tonight.
I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, guys, back upstairs.
Coach Rick Van Hoy, the A.L. Brown Wonders coming into town. Bruce Harden busy with his team. One of the assistant coaches, Bob Jacobs, earlier had a chance to talk with Steve Gant and how the Wonders look at this game, and these were his comments.
Thanks again, Randy. What they call Bob Jacobs. Tell you what, Jake, I don't have to tell you. South Rowan can be pretty rough on you. They can get up and down, and I think anybody gets up for A.L. Brown.
Well, that's true, Steve. There's a big rivalry between us, and I expect their kids to be up, and I expect our kids to be up. And it's going to be a battle to the end, as always, in every game we play.
Well, you got two battles behind you. I know you guys haven't allowed anybody in the end zone. As a matter of fact, haven't allowed a serious threat. Do you key on things like that, or if South Rowan would luck up and score on you, would that break you? Would that be the straw that breaks the camel's back? And you guys roll over and die. I mean, what are you telling the guys?
Well, first of all, we're just trying to play good, solid defense, and Coach Whiteman's put some people in some good position this year to play the outside position and be tough in the middle. But if someone scores, we know they're going to score sooner or later. But I don't think we'll roll over and die. Our kids just aren't going to roll over and die. They're going to play hard every play, and they're going to come at you every play.
Jake, your games don't seem like anybody's schedule gets any easier. You guys had some hard-hitting battles the first couple of weeks. Tonight's going to be a hard-hitting battle. Injuries. Is the team healthy? And what's your outlook there?
Right now, Steve, everyone's healthy. We have no one with any major injuries. We have Jeff Sheets with a little sore back. That's about it. And down the road, it doesn't get any easier, especially the next 3 weeks.
Well, it definitely don't get any easier. We're talking about injuries. You guys got a lot of talent on this football team, but not a lot of depth. And again, injuries can come up. Are you concerned about that? If you get a good lead, do you take out your stars? Do you rest the guys? Do you keep them healthy?
Well, we'll take them out because, especially Coach Whiteman and myself, on the offense and defensive line, because we do not have depth at that position. We have a lot of depth at running back and wide receiver and quarterback and running backs, but we just don't have it on the offense and defensive line. And if we get a chance, we're going to rest the ones even during the course of the game.
Jake, it's about time to go to work. I think you're fixing to, do what you get paid to do. So thank you for talking to us and wish you well.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, good luck. Okay, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Steve Gann. As the preliminaries continue here at Raiders Stadium, we'll be back with a coin toss and get it underway in just a moment. Yeah, man, let's go to the middle of the field with the introduction of the captains and the customary coin toss right now.
Okay, Captain Kenny Brown, Allen, and Man meet Captains Teal, Cheryl, Jones, and Connor. You guys shake hands. Okay, gentlemen, a couple things we need to go over before the toss. One thing, when the whistle blows, everybody stop. We won't have any problems if you do that one thing. Next, I'd like to read this statement from the North Carolina High School Athletics Association to you. North Carolina High School Athletics Association requires officials to enforce all rules regarding unsportsmanlike conduct by players and coaches. Specifically, trash talking, taunting, baiting, demeaning celebrations, and vulgar or profane language may be penalized without warning. Fighting or other malicious conduct will result in an ejection. If any coach protests a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, well, he or she is subject to being ejected from the contest. It is strongly suggested that you remind your teammates and coaches of this policy. Any questions? Okay? You guys are the visitors. That's a head. That's a tail. When I flip it, I want you to call it. Call it loud enough everybody can hear it. If I drop it, we'll do it again. Ready? Call it. Call it in the air. Call it. We'll do it again. Call it while it's in the air. You ready? Heads he calls, and heads it is. You can defer to the second half. You can kick, receive, or defend the goal. You want to receive. Which goal you want to defend? Alright, stand right there, face me. Face me. Right here, receive.
Okay, the Wonders have won the toss, and that'll give us a chance to look at that probable offensive starting lineup here for A.L. Brown of Kannapolis.
They're going to take the ball first, and as we get a look at the lineup here, you see William Kraft, the new quarterback for the Wonders. Nick Maddox, what a season he had last year, over 1,200 yards. Tron Brown, one of the most stable guys you'll ever meet, and he just plays hard every game. Nick Gill, Jeff Sheets. Coach Jacobs told us in the interview, is nursing a little bit of a sore back, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then Danny Jenkins.
Now, the offensive line, not a veteran unit, but a very experienced one. They got a lot of playing time last year.
Well, they really did. Philip Johnson and Ricky Mann have a lot of experience. Desmond Miller as well with a lot of experience. Then you've got Nick Saford and Adam Singleton for the Wonders up front.
Of course, Ricky Mann, his senior season, we mentioned on headliners, injured, did not take a snap last year. There you see Nick Saford's name there as well. I think Nick is the predominant word for the first name for a player for the Wonders of Kannapolis this year. As they are dressed in their white jerseys with the green trim, the Raiders in their all black unis, trimmed in white and the red helmets, and the fans on their feet. We're about ready to get this one underway.
Now watch, Randy, see if they kick away from Maddox. He ran one all the way back last week against Statesville, so let's see if they kick it toward number 27, Corey Maxwell.
Chance Tucker, the senior, kicks it end over end, and it will be Maddox at the 2. Looking for the wedge to develop. Eludes one man, trying to get to the outside. If he does, he's dangerous. He breaks another tackle, bounces off one guy, and is pumped as he's out of bounds up near the 40-yard line.
And who made that tackle? Looked like Nick Maddox made the tackle. He was the one knocking guys down.
Let's take a look at that Raider defense as they line up. Ramsey Connor, of course, not expected to start, but there's the way the down lineman look.
No, Ramsey had the jersey on with no pads out there as one of the captains. Leon Smith, Terry Jackson, Joe Finney, and Brent Baer for the Raiders. Then you look at the secondary and linebackers, and one name jumps out there at you, David Teal, a 4-year starter for the Raiders.
The Wonders come up with 2 receivers to the top out of the familiar I formation. William Kraft, the senior, will give it to Maddox. First man through the hole, and he'll get out to about the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. And on the bottom of the pile, you obviously know the guy who made the tackle was Teal, the guy we were referring to, the 5'10" senior.
And we'll be saying that a lot tonight, Randy. Maddox and Teal, those names will be the ones we call primarily tonight, I'd bet you.
Pick up a 2 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8 as Jenkins is split to the left of your screen. Flanked out to the top of the screen will be Nick Gill. Kraft on 2nd down and 8. Lines him down. Maddox with a toss sweep short side. Picking his way out to the 40. Run out of bounds over there about the 40-41 yard line.
Andre Neely was one of the players involved. I don't think he was the first one there, but he was one of them who helped finish it.
Raiders with 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers.
And that's what we talked about in the open. They have been traditionally a 5-man front on defense, and now they feel like they want to switch things around and take a little bit better advantage of some of the personnel they've got, so they've gone to the 4-3.
First 3rd down decision of the night as 3 are split wide for William Kraft at quarterback. 3rd and a long 1 at the 42-yard line. Toss to Maddox, looking for the block. He's got it, and then some. First down, midfield, and he's off to the races. Can they catch him? Check it, it is Tron Brown carrying the football. They Maddox me to death, and then they give it to the fullback, and Tron Brown is the guy, Woody, you were talking about making this team go, and boy, did he go on that play.
Boy, he really did, Randy. That one had all kinds of room. He popped it into the middle, saw some room to the outside, and he was off to the races and really didn't have a serious threat. Watch it again here. Now he heads for the outside, outruns one, outruns another, and boy, they just didn't have a prayer of catching him. He's just awfully quick.
3 plays, 67 yards, and the final 58 yards covered by Tron Brown. Now Kraft a hole for the extra point kicker, John Garver, and the kick is perfect. We have a timeout on the field. 10 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the opening period, and the Wonders of A.O. Brown have jumped out on top. By Jeff Sheets will be taken by Jamie Cunningham. He's got a pretty good seam up the middle. Can he get outside? They catch him from behind at the 32-yard line. Wonders on the kick coverage. Ivar Johnson kept him from getting big yardage and possibly tie this game up, Woody.
And you know, Randy, we saw Ivar Johnson a lot at fullback last year, and he is a load. He was fun to watch in that spot. Now, as the Raiders come out here on offense, you get a look there at Sherrill, their #1 quarterback. And new man under center, and they have a lot of confidence in this guy. I feel like he's a great athlete. Didn't get a whole lot of snaps last year, but they do feel like they have some talented wideouts and want to spread the offense a little bit more this season.
Similar to what Tony Probst did, defensive back converted quarterback. Pitch to Reed out of the tailback position, got maybe a yard over there. That'll give us a chance to look at those offensive starters for the Raiders. We mentioned Sherrill and we mentioned Reed, and we'll take a look at it.
There's Sherrill right there in your picture, number 15.
Well, they picked up 2 on the play.
There we go. Charles Sherrill, the quarterback. Reed just on the carry there. Daryl Childers at 1 running back. Jeremy Garman, Andre Neely, and Nathan Page. And we've got a different fullback in the game now, but pitch is going to be again to Reed.
Reed spinning, flags are down. Reed is down at the 35-yard line. Dropped in the Wonder side on the defensive backfield over there, so preliminary indication will sort it out here. Just underway, 2 minutes into the game, and the Wonders have already broken through with a 58-yard run by Tron Brown. And it was 3rd and 1, and the Raiders defense bunched. They're expecting Maddox perhaps to get the mail, and they pop it to the fullback. There's the rest of the offensive line for the South Rowan Raiders.
The guys who do the dirty work up front, Bear, Gaddy, Jackson, Smith, and then David Teal. He's all over the place. And now we're getting a ruling on the penalty. Looks like it's going to be against the Raiders.
Holding the call, and that is waved off.
Now the Wonder defense, Philip Johnson on the offensive line. We talked about Willie Poore. He's a good one. Keep an eye on him. Ricky Mann, also Desmond Miller, and then Paul Allen as well for the Wonders. And then Mark Kennedy. Watch him as well. He had a couple of big games and TV games we did last week. Ivar Johnson, we talked about Gill, Maddox, Keene, and Harris.
The Wonders electing to take the play. It'll bring up 3rd down. And along 6 here, they need to get just over the 41-yard line. Sherrill under center, straight to pass this time, looking, and the receiver with a great catch at midfield. First down Raiders, and going high into the air, Darrell Childress. Man, he had a ladder to help him out that.
Yeah, and he fought that one all the way down, Randy, but managed to reel it in. Nice play.
Charles Sherrill, 11 of 28 with 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown throwing at 203 yards. Brent Bear is wearing 52. We had him listed as 32. So I guess the black jerseys just don't have the same numbers as the red and the white ones.
Yeah, they've thrown us a couple of curveballs here tonight, but we'll catch up.
Raiders just over midfield into Wonder territory here, first time tonight. Out of the eye.
Somebody lost a helmet.
Yep.
And they fell on it. Ouch.
And they also fell on Reed right after maybe a half a yard pickup on the play. They'll spot his forward progress. Actually, they're going to be kind to the 48-yard line, give him a 2-yard pickup. That was Mr. Teal. So he plays out of his head, I guess. Plays out of his helmet.
Well, you know, the funny thing was, though, his helmet went flying before the play really got going.
Just don't make chin straps like they used to.
I guess not. So Teal is out to get his helmet fixed, and they're doing some work on it over there.
Look at that offensive line led by senior center Terry Jackson, number 70. He's 303 pounds, give or take a couple.
Well, look at here, 78 on the far side. Nicholson is 325.
Yeah, Mike's a pretty good kid. Sherrill stacked by Willie Poor, the defensive tackle. Nobody picked him up. Sherrill helpless back at the 41-yard line.
And he just had no way to escape from that. We talked about Willie Poor when the lineups were there. Keep an eye on him, and boy, he showed us something right there. He just exploded into the Raider backfield.
So it will be third down coming up. The line to make is the Wonder 39-yard line. Right now it's resting at the 41 of South. They'll send 4 out in the pattern. Single setback this time is Reed. 1 man in motion. Now they've got 3 to the top of your screen, and Sherrill will roll that way. Looking. Protection breaks down. He loses the football and is picked up by Ricky Mann, the nose guard. The Wonders have recovered at the 36-yard line of South Rowan.
Now they stripped him as he went by, and Sherrill tried to turn around and get it, but the Wonders too quick and just pounced on the ball. Ricky Mann with a good job to be aware of the situation and just fell on it before Sherrill could get back.
The 6', 200-pound senior comes up, I guess, with a defensive pick. He picked him off. Now he'll turn around and play offensive guard.
And everybody else ran off the field, and he kind of stayed there.
Didn't have to walk far, did he? At the 36-yard line, we've played about 5 minutes into this game. Wonders leading 7-0 with a chance now to add to that lead. And Maddox, with a huge hole, gets into the secondary and goes to the 28-yard line.
Looked like it was Antoine Reed on the stop that time.
So
and
Maddox,
this is a key situation for the Raiders here. Almost like last week, Randy, where we saw Mount Pleasant with 2 quick turnovers in the first quarter, and it allowed Central to build a bunch of momentum. The same thing could be developing here if the Raiders can't hold.
Jenkins is split to the bottom of your screen. Nick Gill flanked to the top. On 2nd and short. Kraft gives it to Brown. He'll have the first down. He's knocked down at about the 24-yard line. Dexter Jones coming up from the linebacking position, the 167-pound junior to make the hit.
Boy, he didn't hit like 167 pounds, did he?
Mean.
Because Tron Brown, you look at him, and he's 185, so he should have been able to run by that, but good stick that time by Jones.
Now they will split the backfield. On 1st down and 10. A little bit different look this time for Bruce Harden's Wonders. Maddox, they try to seal the end. He breaks 2 tackles, goes inside the 20 and almost broke it. Inside the 15-yard line, lost his balance. That's what made the tackle, I guess.
Well, it looked like the first guy who got through was Bear, Randy, and he reached out with an arm like he was trying to strip the ball from Maddox, and of course Nick just ran right through that. Another player went by him with the arms flailing, trying to get a leg. Maddox tiptoed through that, and boy, he stumbled and got 9 yards.
Maddox has 84 yards. Well, that can't be right. 84 yards on 5 carries. That's probably the total yardage.
Yeah, because Tron Brown has a 58-yard touchdown.
Right. That's probably total yardage. It's second and short. Maddox has the first down, skips inside the 10. It'll be first and goal Wonders at about the 7 or possibly the 8-yard line.
Well, you look at Nick Maddox, Randy, as he goes back to the huddle there, and he is not a big, powerful, run-over-you kind of running back. Don't get me wrong, he's strong and he's got quick feet, but he's only 185 pounds. He makes his hay by picking his holes very well, and he's got a great sense of balance. You really have to get him solidly to knock him down. You can't just arm tackle him as we've seen.
Nearing the 5-minute mark, first down and goal at the 7. And Brown spins to about the 6. Hitting the interior, Teal led a lot of black shirts that time around the football as they were running inside. Dexter Jones also there for the Raider defense. You talk about Maddox, 1,253 yards, 16 touchdowns last season. Brown with 753 yards and 9 touchdowns. What a combination of luxury and enviable position. If you're an opposing coach, you just sit there and look at those guys. Man, I'd love to have those guys in my backfield.
Yeah, now speaking of backfields, Randy, we talked about Evar Johnson at fullback. He's number 34 in there now. Watch Maddox get the ball and follow Johnson.
Second and goal at the 6.
No.
Looks like a busted play.
Yeah.
Kraft will reverse his position, and he'll just eat one. Smart thing to do by the senior, because rather than risk an interception or losing more yardage, he said, well, we're still in business here. We're at the 10.
They're going to call a timeout, I think, Randy. Somebody went the wrong direction. No, we've got a hurt Wonder down there. Looks like can't pick up the number.
Maybe Adam Singleton, number 66. I think that's who it is.
I think you're right.
Left guard. 240-pound seniors. You see William Kraft over there talking to Bruce Harden.
Yeah, look, there's Shelwyn Clutch there. We talked about him on Headliners. Been a basketball guy, and now he's working with the quarterbacks here for A.L. Brown.
Easy to spot Shelwyn. He's about a foot taller than everybody else over there.
Yeah, I always get a kick out of watching Shelwyn in that coach's battle for the bell basketball game, because he's always one of the stars of that thing. He's a great guy.
Big play here for the Raider defense and for the Wonders. It's third and goal just inside the 10-yard line. And too much time. Going to be the call, and that'll push him back 5 more.
Boy, and this is the kind of stuff that will get Bruce Harden irritated pretty quickly.
There's little things. That's, I guess.
Well, you get down there close to the 5-yard line, 6-yard line. You have somebody run the wrong way on your next play. Then you have a delay of game penalty after that, and suddenly you're back to almost to 20, and you haven't even run a play. 2
little mental errors there that don't necessarily show up in the final stats, but they've certainly taken the Wonders out of a golden opportunity. Now William Kraft sees how the Raider defense lines up and calls the second timeout of the first period. We have a break, 3:51 to go. Wonders by 7. Back, it is third down and goal, actually just inside the 15-yard line. Kraft to throw, looking end zone, plenty of time. Now reverses his field. There's a clip.
Yep.
There's a flag, and there's the pass overthrown. So the Raiders, obviously, will take, well, it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, now that was caused because Mark Eagle, number 17, had broken through into the backfield, and one of the Raiders just got him below the waist that time as he was trying to get back to the quarterback, and the official was right on top of it. So, wow. So, a busted play, a delay of game, and now a clip, and the Wonders are going the wrong way.
And good Raider defense in the secondary that time.
Yeah.
It will be 4th down. They're going to take the penalty and get the play over.
Yeah.
15, yeah. You got to
think about a field goal range.
It's first and goal, folks. It'll be third down and goal at the 40.
Now, wait a minute. Let's make sure they can't get a first down here.
Now, because the original line of scrimmage was
right.
7.
You're right.
It's about the longest first and goal I've seen.
Well, we said, Randy, the Raiders needed a big stop here to keep the momentum from swinging completely to Kannapolis. And if they can keep the Wonders from getting 40 yards right here, they'll have it.
Third and goal at the 40. It's crazy. Well, they go up with Brown up the middle. He's going to get a chunk of it. Got about 14 of it back. And Andre Brown tackles Tron Brown. So, a lot of Brown out there.
Well, now Wonder
on the ground.
what kind of a leg John Garber has, because he's coming out there now to try it, Randy.
John, an excellent soccer player with some good distance, but this one will be set down at the 33. It'll be a 43-yard attempt.
Wow.
For the soccer-style kicker.
He's a 5'11 junior, 148 pounds, and he's going to have to get all of that weight behind the ball.
Good snap, the spot. Garber's kick is up. It is long enough and just shy of left goalpost there. He had about a 42-yard kick that time.
I wonder if somebody may have gotten a little piece of that one.
A change of possession, and the Raiders will get possession at the 20-yard line with 2:59 to go here in the first period. So Garber had been kicking them deep, but probably never kicked a soccer ball that deep in his life. But
well, a 43-yard field goal, Randy, is a college or a pro-type field goal. You don't see many guys in high school can be making 43-yarders with any kind of regularity.
So a break for the Raiders, and they will set up shop at the 20-yard line, working out of the I formation with 2 wide.
Does show you, though, what kind of confidence Bruce Harden has in him.
Again, we'll go to Bear, the fullback, as they fake the toss sweep, and he heads right up the gut for about 3.
Now, Randy, since the Raiders were able to hold, they really can't afford here to go 3 and out. They need to chew up some clock. We've got about 2.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. If they can chew up some clock and turn the field position war around, they will have won that mini battle right there instead of being down 14-0, which they could very well have been.
Oh, yeah. It'll be Cunningham and Neely, the wideouts this time. Cunningham to the top, Neely to the near side of the field. Second down, and Sherrill will try to run it. And wow, nothing there. Looks like number 39, Paul Allen, the defensive end, the junior, wrapped him up.
And Allen showed you right there why he's one of the captains on this team out there for the coin toss earlier. Stayed home on defense. The quarterback tried a little fake, cut back up the middle. Allen was right where he was supposed to be, waiting for him.
The Wonders pursue a trademark of their defense for years and years and years. You got to try some misdirection, but you can't fool Allen. He stayed home on his end.
The Wonders really have some good speed, Randy. You talked about the pursuit, and they have some good speed in the linebacking core and in the secondary.
4 wide receivers this time, and all flag dropped. We'll stop play before he gets underway. We'll pick up the call. That'll be too much time against the Raiders. That'll cost them 5. And those 5 are really big. We'll go back toward their own end zone.
So suddenly this one's turning sloppy.
Going to bring up 3rd down and 15. They need to get just over the 30. Rick Van Hoy, 3rd-year coach here for the Raiders. 12 and 10 the first 2 seasons.
Chris Sifford standing there too, who was on headliners with us earlier with a hat on backwards, so he's going to the rally camp.
Oh yeah. 1 setback. Sherrill will play fake. No, actually he hands it off. The Wonders are waiting. Man, oh man, Ricky Mann, the nose guard, fought the tackle, or the would-be blocker off, and then Philip Johnson came in and helped finish off Reed, who had just really helpless. Lucky they held on to the football there at the 11-yard line.
Nothing doing now. Here, Randy, you probably won't see him worry much about a great return here because they're going to have some good field position anyway.
Joe Bean, the 6'2 senior who we mentioned averages just over 33 yards a punt through the first 2 games of this year and had a very good kicking year last season. We'll have to kick it deep.
And boy, what a feeling this is. You're the punter standing in your own end zone back there. You got Nick Maddox standing at about midfield ready to try and run it back.
Kick it away from it. It will be high. Good carry. Good hang time. Maddox at midfield. Looks for a block. Gets 1. And just too many black shirts. Good coverage by the Raiders as they gang tackle Maddox at the 46-yard line. Let's hope everybody gets up. There's Teal.
Yeah, he's always there, isn't he?
Neely also, and they kind of help Maddox up. He's a little bit upset. I mean, that's just the determination of that young man.
Well, that was just real good coverage by the Raiders, Randy. Maddox had 1 block, but that wasn't enough. There were, as you said, several black jerseys there, and he just didn't have any room to go anywhere.
So Bean with an excellent punt. That one hung up above the lights there for a while, it seemed like. 39 seconds to go, opening period, after the Wonders scoring quickly out of the gate. Up up 7-0. High formation, Johnson in at fullback. Sheets, the tight end, flops to the left side. They got 2 wide this time for William Kraft. He'll toss it to Tron Brown, who's in at tailback. And Brown with a great block and puts on the burners. Flag is down. Brown is down inside the 20. That one might come back, but as Tron is quicker than he was last year.
I'm telling you, he really does look like it. He's a leader, Randy. That's what that guy is. I mean, he just makes plays, comes out 100% every time, but it's going to come back.
Tron Brown was 64 yards prior to that play, rushing, and 58 on one carry, 24 for Maddox through the first quarter.
What is this now, Randy? 3 penalties out of the last 5 plays for Kannapolis?
They started off like they were going to just blow the Raiders out of their own ballpark, and now they're self-destructing.
And the clip was on that side where Brown went because the official threw the flag just as he turned the corner and got into the scene.
Well, the line of scrimmage for the Wonders at one time was the Raiders 7, and with a stand, a few penalties, as you mentioned, Woody, and a few minutes later, it's all the way back at the Wonder 45-yard line where they face 1st and 20.
It's kind of weird, though. The Raider offense didn't advance the ball. The defense is pushing it the other way.
Defense wins games. Toss will go to Maddox, who's back in. Wow, how did he get away from those guys? And that guy, and that guy. Can you believe it?
Come on here now. That was obnoxious.
That's one of the best runs you'll see in any brand of football. Nick made up for the punt return.
Now watch this. Let's count how many guys get a good shot at him here because Maddox ran through half the defense. All right, there's good penetration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That
8 finally got it.
And that was the last guy.
Wow.
8 guys. That reminds me, Woody, I go back. That reminds me of an Ethan Horton run when he was playing for the Wonders.
Amazing.
The quarter is over. Kannapolis leads at 7-0. Back to Raider Stadium in just a moment. It took 8 guys to bring Nick Maddox down, and now the Wonders have advanced it as we get ready for the second period, Woody, down to the 27-yard line of South.
Man, what a run. I can't get over that. That was just spectacular.
And the toss, this time, looking, Maddox cuts it up the middle and gets down to about the 21-yard line.
Well, one guy missed him that time before 3 more wrapped him up.
They decided to go against the grain and get in there where the big bruises are, namely Mr. David Teal.
Hey, there's Sifford, who was on the program with us.
I like that.
And he said that he was, his family was at East Rowan, where his...
Yeah, he was a defector. He went to North Rowan.
Yeah, okay.
And was a good athlete.
Yeah,
whatever Rowan he played for. 2nd and 4, Brown with pitch. And will elude one man and go down at about the 16-yard line. Near the first down, I think he had enough, depending on the spot.
They did get it.
So they'll move the sticks.
And 22, Antoine Reed tackles 22, Tron Brown.
Brown, 5'11", 185-pound senior, as you see Bruce Harden. And Wonder Brain Trust across the far way. Spotted at the 17-yard line. Actually just inside the 17.
Cheerleaders are throwing those little plastic footballs to the crowd now, trying to work them up into a lather here.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Again, we'll go to Maddox, hitting the middle and carrying a few folks. Down inside the 15, near the 11. That's 5 or 6 yards, Woody. You'll take that every time on first down.
Yeah, and Dexter Jones, number 33, the linebacker, had a little penetration and got a good clean shot at Maddox, but Nick kind of slipped off of him. There the cheerleaders throwing those plastic footballs up there. But Nick just turned sideways and slipped off the tackle and fell for about 5 yards.
Wonders have amassed 35 yards in penalties and have still been able to overcome it, especially on this drive. 2nd and 4 from the 11. Toss will go to Maddox, short side. Getting outside and down the sidelines and bumped out of bounds near the marker.
Well, there was a pretty good block over there on that side when the Raiders had some bodies coming to try and stop Maddox to give him a little extra step to the outside. Didn't catch the number, but somebody did a good job over there to spring Maddox.
They were close enough to measure, I do believe, and we'll get our first appearance by the chain crew.
Let's see.
Or now they're going to bring the ball over there. It's a short side. pitch it out there and see. It's either going to be third and short or first and goal. Third and short. 9:56 remaining, first half. 7-zip. Wonders leading, scoring early. That kind of sets the tone. And the Raider defense now going to be called upon again. Try to keep Kannapolis out of the end zone.
Boy, a big crowd here tonight.
A late arriving crowd. A lot of people, you see them in the end zones, a lot of the stands are kind of a few seats left. A lot of folks just standing up, milling around. Family reunion time here at China Grove. Third and inches. Tight formation for the Wonders. Kraft will hand it to Brown. He'll get the first down and is punished that time. Teaming up with a little sandwich there. Looked like 31 for the Raiders. That was Cunningham.
It looked like Dexter Jones and DeMarcus Streeter were in on that one as well.
Wonders have rushed now over 140 yards.
Look at all the people here.
Standing room only. They're packed in like sardines.
Look back here at the back of the end zone. Looks like a big picnic going on back there.
At the 3-yard line, the give will go to Maddox. He'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Wonders.
Boy, and there was a huge hole on that side, Randy. Maddox only had one guy to beat, and he slipped past Teal to get into the end zone that time, and he is just going to be one of those guys who has a storybook kind of year, looks like.
Well, it was the Maddox-led ground game that time, and finally got him into the end zone. Now Garver will attempt his second extra point of the night. This kick is up, and it is through the heart. We have a timeout. 9:19 remaining, first half. The Wonders extend their lead, I should say, to 14. Some of the young Raider fans, that might be the youngest fan here tonight, Louis.
Future Raider, he's sticking his tongue out at us. Yeah.
Jeff Sheets to kick it off. Back to the Raiders. Cunningham, one of the deep guys, along with Andre Brown. This one a line driver. And it'll be skipping by Cunningham. He'll field it right at the goal line. Uh-oh, gonna get out of there. And Wonder pursuit catches him inside the 10-yard line.
Well, he was just caught between a rock and a hard place, Randy. That one was going to skip to where it was going to stop right about the goal line, so he almost had to pick it up. But once he did, when he had to run back and get it, the Wonder pursuit was already there, and he really had nowhere to go at all.
Well, you're down 14-0 if you're Coach Rick Van Hoy. With 9 minutes to go in the second period, you're at your own 8-yard line. Not time to panic yet, but you want to get a first down here, get some field position back, and keep the defense off the field.
You got to.
Need to complete a pass. Charles Sherrill leads them up. 3-4 wide receivers in the pattern. And they'll go to the single setback and a good hole up the middle. Reed out across the 10 near the 14.
Willie Poore brought him down, but that was a nice hole. Good work. They put a receiver up high on the left side to pull some of the defenders out that way and found some room in the middle.
You got Gaddy at one guard, 225. Jackson, the center, 303. And Leon Smith, 217. A couple of seniors and a sophomore up front. Opening some holes along with Teal as well. So they've got the beef up there. Gain of 5 on the play.
Looks like a little bit of confusion back there for the Raiders now.
A little late getting one of the wide receivers onto the field. They got to snap it quick here. Sherrill, he'll have to run it, and it's going to pay a deal price, maybe a yard. Man, oh man, Desmond Miller
pounded him.
One of the 245-pound senior defensive tackles. That's got a lot of credit, but we'll give him credit on that one. Crunching tackle.
Yeah, Sherrill tried to cut back inside of him, and Desmond said, oh no. Forget that.
You got Poore, Mann, and Miller, along with Johnson. 4 seniors, and then Paul Allen, the junior. Boy, what an imposing defensive line to run at.
Big play here for the Raiders, Randy.
They send everybody wide on 3rd and 5. Sherrill will play fake. Looking. Now goes over the middle, and incomplete. What a hit. That was LaRon Caldwell who leveled the intended receiver that time.
Daryl Childers, and he was there, and he got his hands on the ball, but Caldwell just laid a pop on him, and the ball came out.
Caldwell, we saw in warm-ups, looks like he was about 6'4".
He is tall, man. He looks like a basketball player out there. He's so tall.
Well, that'll force the Raiders into their second punt of the night. And once again, about the same position Joe Bean found himself in last time. At the goal line.
Good coverage, though, by the Raiders last time. Let's see if Kannapolis makes any adjustments here to what the Raiders did last time.
Kannapolis feels for the return. This is a high one. Maddox will let it bounce and will finally field it off the Wonder 47. Now the race is on. Gets it block and will break brought down. Give the Raider special team some credit. They fought through the blocks, came down, and Calvin Deal finally made the tackle. But you got to get Maddox early, or you may not get it.
One guy didn't fight through the blocks. It was Daryl Childers, who just got a good pop from Caldwell a minute ago. He was trying to follow behind and pursue Maddox, and looked like standing there waiting for him. One of the Raiders just absolutely put him on the ground. I think that it was Ivar Johnson, but I'm not sure. Boy, he just laid him out.
There's some leather being exchanged. There's the Wonders' total offense, all of that on the ground so far. It's been Maddox and Tron Brown show tonight. William Kraft has not had to go to the air. Why not? Here's Maddox, sidesteps one man, spins 360 and then lowers the shoulder to the 46-yard line.
Neely finally got him down, but man, that spin move was something.
And he's the finesse guy. But you know who the first, kind of an understated Nick this year. I've been reading a lot of press on him, and he says he gives credit to that line and Tron Brown. He says Tron's the senior out there. He don't care about the publicity. He wants to win.
Yeah, and that's something Bruce Harden talks about a lot, getting good senior leadership, and it's nice to see Nick Maddox crediting the senior with helping provide some of that.
On 2nd and 6. Fullback with a call, Brown, and they got him after about a yard, maybe. Josh Boyd, who's in there defensively, first man to get him after about a yard gain near the 45-yard line.
Now Brown's going to go out, and Johnson's coming back in.
Clock continuing to run here. 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. First half, 14-0. Wonders.
Kannapolis has tried one pass, Randy, when they were back down close to the south goal line. He started getting those penalties. Kraft lofted one up toward Maddox, but
just kind of threw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get intercepted. They flopped the tight end over on the left side this time. Let's see if they run short side. Nope, they're not going to run anywhere. I believe they got some motion or too much time. Another, that's about the worst, that's the best defense so far tonight against the Wonders has been themselves. They've committed too many penalties, I think, if you ask any of the coaches over there.
They really have, and that's going to give them 40 yards in penalties now?
At least. Moving back to midfield. So instead of 3rd and realistic, now you got 3rd and 9. Jimmy Smith over there keeping those stats.
And a stop here by the Raiders, Randy, would be tremendous, because then you're going to force the Wonders to punt. You've got a good chance of getting some field position here. You still got 6 minutes to go in the half and a chance to get on the board. 21-0 is a whole lot different from 14-0 or 14-7.
Oh, it sure is. Kraft will give it to Maddox. He's going to throw it wide open is Danny Jenkins. He'll haul it in at the 20. Can they catch him? Yes, inside the 1-yard line. They completely forgot about Danny Jenkins because Maddox drew the defense up.
Sure did, Randy, but when he started fading back, you knew what was going to happen that time. Take a look at it again, and you said wide open. That may be the understatement of the year. I mean, there was nobody within 20 yards of him as he went down the side. Watch this. And right here, Maddox goes back, and you know what's happening. Now look at this distance. Look at that. There is nobody in the neighborhood.
When Nick started to draw back the arm, the DBs are going, uh-oh.
Yeah. Finally bringing him down was Andre Brown, number 20, and he had to run a long way just to catch up to Jenkins.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line. One man in motion. It will be Maddox, right side, untouched into the end zone. His 2nd touchdown of the night, and the lead is extended to 20-0. The Wonders can run, and Maddox can do that. He sure can pass, too.
Yeah, he just did. Boy, he laid one out there.
It comes with 5 minutes and 25 seconds left in the first half, and that is a killer score if you're the Raiders. John Garbu has been perfect so far in the extra point department. He'll try to kick his third straight. And it is perfect. Timeout again. 5:25 left. 21-0. Wonder kickoff is next. Woody King, Steve Gant, and that last drive, boy, they covered some ground in a hurry. The big play, though, was the pass play from Maddox to Jenkins.
Well, Nick Maddox runs kicks back, he runs up the middle, he throws long passes. What doesn't he do?
Sheets kicks it off, and it will be Andre Brown returning and is punished out across the 32-yard line. That kind of jerked your neck in the opposite direction.
That was Antoine Spicer, and he's going to be getting a call from somebody's lawyer for giving him whiplash on that one.
Olive Bedell will have a commercial on tomorrow.
Guarantee you. Wow, what a shot. Kannapolis is laying some heavy pops on this South Ram bunch here now, but the Raiders have time, Randy. Over 5 minutes to go. They need desperately to get something on the board here before halftime.
They've been 3 and out the last 2 possessions, and that doesn't bode well. It makes for a long evening. 4 wide receivers this time. They'll go to the 1 side, and waiting in the wings is number 71, Philip Johnson. Just stayed home from his left tackle position.
And, you know, he tried to put some moves on him, too, but Philip is pretty quick for a big old guy, 221 pounds. He just couldn't get by him.
Johnson, one of those seniors we talked about. 5 carries for 10 yards so far for Reed. And he had most of that, I think, their first possession. Inside 5 minutes remaining. Stay tuned. We've got 2 great bands for you at halftime. Always a spectacle, as well as this football team when these 2 guys get together. Over the middle, and they got Neely open this time. 40, sidesteps a man, midfield, run out of bounds at the Wonder 42-yard line. Andre Neely, tackled by Tremaine Robinson.
Take a look again here. You'll see Sherrill, Randy. He's looking pretty deep downfield. Can't find it. And then he checks off and sees Neely down low at the bottom part of your picture. See him looking deep? Now he comes back, checks off, and finds his man. And a good job by Neely to get to the open seam in the defense to help his quarterback out.
Sherrill, when he has put it up, has done well. He's 2 of 3 in the passing department tonight for 42 yards. Being chased to Sherrill. Pops it over the middle, and that one a little too far.
Flag, a late hit, Randy. You're going to get a late hit over there on Nick Gill. The pass had already gone by. It was intended over there for Jeremy Garman. It was already out of bounds, and Gill stuck him just as he was getting to the out-of-bounds side. And there you see Tron Brown. We talked about senior leadership. He goes right over there and gives his player a pat on the back and tells him to keep his head in the game and do better next time. That's the kind of leadership you like to see from your seniors.
One of those hard plays to diagnose it. I guess if you're a defensive back there, you're not sure where the ball's at. You're taught to hit, and just one little timing there. There you see the penalties. That
is killing the Wonders right now. They're up 21-0. Just imagine what the score would be without those penalties.
They'll give the Raiders their best field position of the night. 1st and 10 at the Kannapolis 27-yard line. With the dead ball foul there, the late hit, as Charles Sherrill is bringing it back. Almost stumbles away from center. Now we'll run it. Plenty of field open, but it closes down quickly. Quickness on the Wonders. Paul Allen over there. They limit him to about 3 yards on the play.
You know, it looks like, Randy, a part of the game plan tonight for the Raiders is to have Sherrill go back and check. And if he spots a seam, looks like he's getting the green light to take off, because he saw the big gap over there on the left side and went for it immediately.
3:35 remaining in the first half. It is 2nd down and a long 6. Just inside the 24-yard line. 2 wide out to the near side, 2 flank to the short side of the field. And a quick snap. Here's Sherrill passing. Neely again making the catch and spun around for a progress will be spotted at the 15-yard line. Michael Keene coming from the corner, the 178-pound senior with a sure tackle, and they're going to get a holding call. No, I'm sorry. That was a first down call.
And
at the 15-yard line.
It looks like, Randy, that Cheryl and Neely really have something going on the right side over there.
Well, you flood the field with wide receivers. Eventually, the odds are you're going to find somebody open if they keep coming back to the football. But Neely has done that on these 2 catches.
You know what made that play work, though, is a great ball fake by Cheryl. A couple of Wonders pounded the guy they thought had the ball.
They give it a read and try to catch the Wonder defense napping. And a few white shirts stayed home, namely Willie Moore, also Kennedy. As Andre Brown, my correction, not Reed, carried the football. Mark Kennedy, the linebacker for the Wonders. They're going to be kind of give them a yard to the 14. As Terry Jackson, 300 pounds, lumbered up to the football. Boy, that thing's got to hurt if he falls on it.
No doubt.
Cheryl looks over the Wonder defense and will drop the pass. Pressure is on.
Get rid of it. Too late.
No chance. Boy, it shut down in a hurry. It's the 71 Brigade, I guess we'll call it, led by
Philip Johnson.
Doing the damage there.
Hey, Randy, I bet you if Cheryl had that one to do over, once it broke down up the middle in the beginning, he would have just heaved it out of the back of the end zone that time to try and maintain his field position.
That, Jim Love informs us, is the 3rd sack of the game for the Wonder defense. And they hurt and hurt and hurt the more they happen.
Now watch the Wonders pin their ears back and really come after him here.
3rd 14. Play fake. Cheryl will throw to the end zone. The jump ball and
Boy,
3-4 guys over there.
You had Caldwell back there in the coverage. You also had Michael Keene back there in the coverage, Randy, and that guy there, Neely, still almost came down with that thing.
It'll be 4th down, and they're bringing the tee out, so Bean looks like he's going to try a field goal.
Got a 37-yarder.
Yep. Right hash mark. And he's right-legged, so out of the hold of Jamie Cunningham. Trying to get on the board here. Good snap. The kick is up. It is long enough, and it is good. The first score of the year against the Wonder defense, counting last week and the preseason. With 1:20 to go, the Raider kickoff is next. Chance Tucker kicks it off for the 2nd time tonight. Who's going to get it? Well, let's see. It's not going to be Maddox. It's going to be Brown. And here he goes. Out to the 30, 31-yard line. My correction is not Brown. It's Corey Maxwell. You got 20, 22, 27. They all bunched together.
Yeah, well, Maddox was back there patting his chest going, I got it. Maxwell said, no, you don't. Watch this.
That's the old fake them out if you can play.
Yeah. Now, you probably won't see the Wonders try anything outrageous here, Randy, with just over a minute to go. They've got a 21-3 lead. You would expect that they'll just hand the ball off a couple of times and go into the locker room with that lead.
This is their worst starting position of the night. They're on 32-yard line.
Well, we talked about field position in the open, and you see what a key it's been.
William Kraft, who started at QB, tosses it to Brown. Oh, man, is he tough to bring down. Out to the 38-yard line. He is pounds it and bounces off. It's like a bowling ball and bowling pins going through the middle.
Yeah, he and Maddox are having some good runs. The Raiders are getting a guy to him in pretty good shape, but again, like we talked about last week, they're making that first guy miss almost every time.
Inside 45 ticks to go before halftime. Nick Gill and Jenkins are the wideouts. 2nd and 5 at the 38. Toss to Maddox. Uh-oh. Can he get outside? He's got 1 man to beat around the corner, and they bring him down from behind inside the 37-yard line.
Well, now, Randy, we talked about the Wonders wouldn't try anything outrageous here, but a couple of runs, and they've gotten big gainers. They're getting close to field goal range here now.
Well, maybe you try a couple with 26 seconds to go. You go deep a couple of times and see what happens and go for the kill. You're up 18 points here. Another one right now. It will be awful tough for South in the second half.
Officials timeout. What do you think about maybe that halfback pass again?
Well, I think the Raider defense might be looking for that one. Tron Brown hasn't thrown it yet, has he?
Well, not yet.
Get the fullback to throw it. They have a single setback, so obviously maybe a passing situation here at the 37. Kraft, he's going to throw it. Throwing it deep on the fly, open in the end zone.
Just a little too long, and back there,
Nick Gill.
yeah, and man, it just kicked off his fingertips. Just a hair too long.
Just a timing play.
Boy, Kraft has a pretty good gun, doesn't he?
Well, he just lofted that one about as pretty as you'll see. Well, that only took 6 seconds, so you got a feeling if you're the Raider defense, you're going to be tested at least 3 more times.
Yeah, now keep in mind, they don't have to go for the touchdown, Randy. They can complete an intermediate type pass. They still got a couple of timeouts left. They can use it and get the kicker on the field to try and put 3 more on the board here.
Well, let's see what Bruce Harden has come up with here.
He's throwing.
Maddox cocks once and says, I think I'll run this one. He's got everybody on the other side of the field. Can he get the corner? Yes, he got to the 25, bounds off one man and goes to the 18. A late flag, and there could have been...
I think they hit him late, yeah.
Or maybe a hold.
It's like Andre Neely got the tackle that time. Maddox with a fake. I don't know if he just didn't see what he liked and had the option to run, or if that was designed to be a run from the start.
That play took 12 seconds, so there's 8 ticks to go here before halftime, and that's going to be a clip.
Oh, my goodness. And again, the penalties.
One of the guys blocked him in the back, of course, but Maddox running all over the field. It kind of keeps your blockers, you don't know where he's at.
Well, now they'll mark this back from the spot where the infraction happened, and this is going to push him out of field goal range. They had, at the 20-yard line, Randy, that was a doable field goal there because, well, they tried one from 43 earlier with Garver, and he was just short. That would have been a 37-yard field goal.
Right
now, he had enough leg to make that.
Right now, probably 50 or 51 yards. The Wonders will call a timeout to talk about it. 8 seconds to go before halftime, and we will return for the final play, perhaps, of the first half with the Wonders in charge right now. Got Jenkins and Maddox now as a receiver to the top here in the final 8 seconds of the first half. And Kraft rolling, being pursued. Dumps it upfield, completes to Jenkins, out of bounds.
Well, now wait a minute. He went out of bounds with 1 tick on the clock, so let's see if they give him some more time. The Wonders may argue this.
The horn did not sound before halftime, so I think there is a horn on that scoreboard.
Nope, they're saying it's going to be it. The Raiders are leaving the field.
And that could be a little conversation going on over the sidelines, but at any rate, it is halftime. 21-3, A.L. Brown leading at the break.
They're still talking.
Let's take a look at how all those numbers got put up there. First for A.L. Brown. Woody, what can you say? It's been Brown and Maddox tonight.
Well, yeah, that's the story right there. It jumps out at you. The Wonders have dominated the ground game both offensively and defensively. Almost 200 on their ground side. South Loran -6. Passing yards fairly equal, but look at that number for total yardage. The Wonders 2 of 3 in the air. 1 big turnover for South Loran, but the penalty yardage is keeping South Loran in the game. 6 penalties for 65 yards for the Wonders versus only 1 for 5 against the South Loran team. And now as we look at the storyline of this game, Tron Brown 103 yards and a touchdown. Maddox 97 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And then South Loran we saw -6 rushing, and then they've allowed 3 sacks beyond that. So that tells you that the Wonder defense is really playing well.
They gave up their first points. They have not given up a touchdown this season, including the preseason, but their first points relinquished in the closing minutes of the first half. As the teams have returned for the second half, what if you're Rick Van Hoy in the dressing room? What do you say? You've got bruised Warriors out there. Torrance, your leading running back, probably the player of the year in the conference, if he's healthy, is out. And you're forced to go with some players with not quite as much experience or maybe not as much talent out there at those positions.
The key thing is there, as we look at the Raiders sideline, is they're going to get the ball back first here in the second half. The Wonders took it first in the first half. you have to do something to keep your offense on the field for more than just a few plays. They had a good drive going there late in the first half, got a field goal out of it, and the Wonders almost turned it around and came back and put 6 more on the board. But right now, what they need to do is keep the ball for a while, get the field position going in their direction, first of all, even if they don't score on this opening drive, get the thing down on their end and keep their defense from having to defend, 30, 40 yards. And when the Wonders get the ball back, you've got to eat up some clock and change that field position game.
You're down 18 points. You come out, you put a good drive together, as you said. You eat up the clock, 5 or 6 minutes, and you're only 11 down. It's 2 scores, and you're back in the game. That's probably what they told them there. Don't abandon the game plan just yet. But the defense has got to find a way, if you're the Raiders, to keep Maddox and Brown from running wild. And between them, they have 82 yards rushing last year against South Rowan. So Kannapolis poised, experienced over there, and talent laden right now and injury-free.
And they're very, very quick to the ball on defense, Randy. You talked about their pursuit in the first half. They've got excellent team speed. Their players know where they're supposed to be. They stay in that spot. And when the Raiders have tried to do some misdirection to try and fool the defense, they've found a Wonder defender right there waiting for them. A minute ago, you saw Charles Sherrill, the Raider quarterback, getting stretched out of the sidelines. That was Ramsey Connor who was helping him there.
Yeah.
You talked about earlier, one of the injured Raiders. They've had several players transfer, several injuries here in the first part of the season. But they didn't play that badly, Randy. The field position war they lost, and they had a heavy dose of that Wonder ground attack between Maddox and Brown.
We had an extra 2 minutes of halftime here. It ran down to zeros. They put 2 more minutes up, and so I guess, I don't know why, extended halftime here. Maybe to give everybody a chance to get back from the popcorn stand.
I guess.
And not a lot of folks sitting down in the one end zone, but over in the open horseshoe end, they're standing. I guess, you pay for a seat, you don't use it. You still get charged. It'll be Jeff Sheets, the senior, kicking off for Kannapolis, and he's done a lot tonight. You've got Brown and Cunningham, the deep backs, inside the 10-yard line. As we're waiting on the
I guess we're waiting on the clock to get right, yeah. Well, the Raiders could use a big run back here, Randy. Right there in the first half and the second quarter, they had that muffed kick that they had to pick up on about the 1-yard line and try and run it back, and got deep in their own territory.
Sheets with a good kick, end over rim. Brown at about the 8. Looking for a little wedge here. And is tripped up at the 26-yard line. On coverage, Evar Johnson, one of the first white shirts for the Wonders down on the kick team.
And one of the things we saw in the first half, Randy, that was pretty successful for the Raiders is that combination of Sherrill to Neely through the air. We saw Neely find some holes in the Kannapolis defense on the right side, sort of an intermediate type route, and he almost got one down in the end zone that he almost outfought 2 defenders for. So maybe we'll see that combination a good bit here more in the second half.
They line up with a single setback for wideouts, and Reed gets the carry. Bounces off the line and gets 6 or 7 yards before Mark Kennedy hit him. And I believe that's a Caldwell kid, too, we talked about in the first half. We made a vicious pop in the secondary.
But that time, Randy, Reed just lowered his shoulders and lowered his head and drove Kennedy back about 3 or 4 yards, fighting for more at the end of that play. Now, here's a situation where you've got second and fairly short. You might take a chance and put one up here, unless you feel like you've made some real good adjustments to work that ground game. They found a big hole that time. If they're going to put 3 wide receivers out, it's going to take something out of that Wonder defense.
Now they go up the middle and into the secondary. The best run of the night for Reed, and he'll have the first down for the Raiders out to the 46-yard line.
And very close to a face mask that time, Randy. They almost got him around the head area that time as he was making one of his cutbacks. But see, what happens when you line up 3 wide receivers, or even 4 as they did the play before, it takes something out of the middle of that Wonder defense. They've got to spread out and honor that, so it gives you a little more room to maneuver up the middle with the running game. Nick
Gill had to make the tackle from the safety position. So the Raiders starting off positive here, and Reed gets the call again, bounces to the outside, and they were waiting that time, namely
Philip Johnson.
71 Philip Johnson, who has played a heck of a game of defensive end tonight.
And the interesting thing about Johnson, Randy, is he's a big old defensive lineman, And those little running backs can't get away from him. He is
Quick as he
not
can.
getting faked out of his shoes at all. I mean, they're stuffing things on his side.
Actually lost a little bit. Second down and 11. Just over the 45-yard line. Trips to the top of your screen. It's like a track meet getting ready to happen up there. Here's Cheryl rolling left. Pops it and off the fingertips and nearly intercepted. 18 had a shot at it. Mike Keene, the corner for the Wonders as well.
Seems like Cheryl, Randy, when he rolls to the left side like that, has had some trouble with the ball getting away from him a little bit. It's going high. Both times he's tried to roll that direction.
Raiders send Nathan Page in as a flanker, the 6'2 senior, with the play from the sidelines on 3rd and 11.
Now watch Neely here, number 5, down on the right side, down at the bottom of your picture there.
They've been very successful on the short side passes. And that's where it looks like they're going this time. Again to Neely and broken up at the last minute by number 19. That is Rayvar Harris, the corner. Came up, no substitute for speed. You play off the guy and just come in like Deion Sanders does, I guess.
Well, he had an opening there, Randy, but Harris closed the ground nicely and got there in time to get involved in that play.
Well, Joe Bean is on to punt it away. He has been their best offensive weapon. He has kicked the daylights out of the ball tonight.
And if they can get a good stop here, good punt coverage, they can give the Wonders some field position against them for a change.
You will kick it high. Maddox lets it bounce. And the linemen get out of the way, and it will be down to inside the 25-yard line. So, not bad field position. This will be the worst starting position of the night on offense for the Wonders.
And now, Randy, with an 18-point lead, we're going to see Maddox and Brown, Brown and Maddox, Maddox and Brown.
And maybe Johnson and maybe a few others when they get tired. As the offense onto the field, William Kraft.
Well, the Raiders really haven't come up with a solution yet for that Kannapolis ground attack so far.
Kraft, the senior, under center on first down from the 24. Toss.
Oh, look at that.
And what a stop on a dime by Tron Brown, and he got a yard out of what looked to be a 3-yard loss.
Brett Baer got some good penetration into the Wonder backfield that time, but again, Brown slipped away, and you see him, he's talking to the official there, he's saying somebody grabbed a hold of his helmet or his head or his face mask at the end of that play, but there were so many black shirts in that pile, it was hard to tell. And he could easily, Randy, have lost 3 or 4 yards on that play, but a good job by Brown to keep fighting and working for some yardage.
Second down and 9. Toss will go to Maddox this time. Block around the corner. There's the flag. That'll be blocking
In the back.
Yep. Cost Kannapolis some real estate as they bring it back.
I think Nick Gill got one of the Raiders in the back that time as Maddox was trying to turn the corner on that side. And the official way back in the secondary was the one who caught it and threw the flag. Yep, it's a clip.
He thought that corner looked too clean. They tried to seal the end, and they did too good a job there.
Well, Randy, when we looked at that storyline coming out of halftime, you saw Brown with about 100 yards, Maddox with about 100 yards. The third thing that might happen here is penalties might get 100 yards against the Wonders.
They're catching up in a hurry. Field position now favoring the Raiders. Well, that'll benefit of a punt. At the 11-yard line. Well, they can make it up in a hurry. Second and 23, excuse me.
A fumble.
It's loose. Raiders, Wonders, who's got it?
I think Kannapolis got it back.
Looked like South had it initially, and it squirted loose. Let's see who gets up off the bottom.
51, I think, is who came up with it.
That's Nick Saford, the center. He's the guy that started all that.
Yeah, it almost looked like one of the Wonder tailbacks had it back for a second, but as you mentioned, it squirted loose. Then they started diving at it.
And it's anybody's ball game then. Lost back to the 9. Well, Bruce Harden can't be a happy camper over there right now.
No, that's the kind of stuff that'll drive a coach crazy right there.
The line to make is their own 34-yard line. They'll go to the run and try to get a little field position out across the 15-yard line. Mark Eagle for the Raiders on the tackle, and they'll get the punt team in. Danny Jenkins doing the honors. And is this the first time Kannapolis has punted tonight?
Either that or the second time. So now, Randy, this is what we talked about. The Raiders did what they had to do. Drove to near midfield, deep punt, and held the Wonders. Now they're going to have their best field position of the night here. 2 guys deep to return it.
Let's see if they come after Jenkins here. High snap, and oops,
Somebody moved.
Had to be offsides or somebody moved. Here's the obligatory late flag dropped at the 35-yard line away from the action.
Well, you do that when you're an official and you don't want to have anybody think you missed it. Everybody throws their flag, you got to draw too.
I'm trying to think what game it was last year where everybody pulled it out simultaneously and just pelted the guy.
The call.
Moving against the Wonders.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to make it even more difficult. Backing them up. Jenkins is starting to look around. He's saying, I smell the end of the end zone back here somewhere, gentlemen.
Look at there, 8 penalties for 78 yards, and that is tremendous, Randy.
Jenkins is now about 5 yards deep in the Wonder end zone. Raiders showing 8 guys, or actually 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. Let's see if, whoops, there may be movement again.
Oh my goodness, and somebody over there on the top of your picture is grabbing his head like he was the one who was the guilty party. Can't quite make out the number. No, it's going to be against the Raiders this time.
Well, they tried to fake us out there.
It looks like it's going to be against Andre Brown, who's coming off the field now.
And we'll get a stern lashing. Perhaps. Just a little word of encouragement, I'm sure. Jenkins now at the 3-yard line. Finally gets the punt away. It's high, not particularly deep, and will go out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. He comes down the sidelines. He's at the 40, and he will stop at the 36-yard line.
Wow, great field position for the Raiders, Randy, and now they have to capitalize. You got an injured Raider, Antoine Reed.
It's like some cramps there. And we have a break. 7:24 remaining in the third period here in Raiderland. It's 21-3 Wonders. Raider fans, whoa, there's the seniors this year. I think she knows a few of those, probably.
Randy, here's an opportunity for the Raiders. They have to capitalize here if they're going to get back in this game. Uh-oh, the Wonders jumped.
And they're capitalizing without having to run a play and not use the clock.
I can't remember the last time, Randy, we saw a Kannapolis team pile up this many penalties.
Well, it was early, and it's only their second game, and there's a lot of improvement, I guess, between game 1 and 2, game 2 and 3, if you're looking for to be really fine. And I'm sure.
And look at Bruce Harden. He's just stewing over there. You know he's upset about that. That's the kind of stuff that any coach, but particularly Bruce Harden, can't stand.
83 yards and penalties amassed so far for the Wonders.
They are going to get to that 100-yard mark if they're not careful. Guarantee you, they'll run laps.
1st and 5, and again up the middle, and here we go inside the 15 down the 11-yard line. The guy who replaced Reed, Brad Ferguson. Is that right, number 30?
No, I think it was number 20 that time. It was Andre Brown.
Okay, he was like a streak up the middle there. Andre Brown, the ball carrier.
Nice run. And again, Randy, you see the Raiders employing, as we look at the replay, boy, he got an extra 5 with that hop, skip, and jump move at the end. But as the Raiders put 3 and 4 receivers out, it gives them some room to operate in the middle. And now the Raiders, or rather the Wonders, call a timeout.
7:13 to go in the third period. We'll keep it here. And remind you, this is just game number 2 of a 11-game regular season schedule that we have for you. We'll see these Raiders again a couple more times this year. The Wonders as well. I think everybody gets pretty even coverage of the 6 schools we cover, but don't forget to join us on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock as kind of a preview for Headliners. It's a live call-in show. Coaches or assistant coaches or...
Yeah, and we've been giving away bunches of free stuff during Headliners this year, too.
Yeah, we had all those tickets for Northwestern and Wake Forest for this week. Albemarle will be at Mount Pleasant next week, and that will be our Metro 12 game of the week. We'll have Henry Thompson back with us. Albemarle has been a dynamo down there the last couple of years, so looking to go down to Tiger Town again this year, or next week, I should say. So join us 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Watch the game on Saturday mornings at 10, Sunday night at 6, I believe.
Tigers up at East Rowan this weekend.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. They'll try the run off the right side, and skirting the corner is Brown. He's inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line, wrestled to the ground there by Caldwell. And they seal the end. Sometimes you win against Philip Johnson, sometimes you don't. They did that time.
Johnson got up very slowly after that play, but looks like he's going to be okay. But just a nice piece of running that time by Andre Brown, Randy. He saw that the original hole he was looking for was going to close up, hopped it to the outside, and made a big 5-yard gain out of it.
And on the sidelines, I see Reed running out the cramps, and it looks like he's about ready to put the helmet back on.
At least that's what he's going to tell the coach.
Yeah, but the way Brown's running, he may not get back in this series. 2nd down and 4 at the 5. Again to Bear, the fullback, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Penetration by the Wonders on defense, namely number 65 that time. And I don't have a 65.
Might have been 66.
We'll give credit to 66. Adam Singleton. Well, here we go. 3rd down. Critical play here for the Raiders. They want to get back in this game.
And again, they split 2 receivers out wide to give him some room. Let's see what they do.
Bear and Brown behind Sherrill. The toss will go to Brown. He gets a block, tries to cut it. The Wonder Pursuit catches it after about a yard gain.
Looked like one of the first guys there was Nick Gill, number 82. And a couple of other Wonders were there just a beat later.
Desmond Miller and Ricky Mann, and then just 2 of them.
Well, you got to go. Yeah.
You don't want 3 right now. 18-point deficit.
Boy, that timeout really seems to have lit the fire under the Wonder defense here, Randy. They got their backs against the wall, and they're playing tough.
Well, they don't want to give up a touchdown. That defense is pretty proud. Bunch of hombres down there. They're digging in here on 4th and 4, just inside the 5. They can still get a first down, and there's a delay of game penalty called against the Raiders.
Wow, that's costly. Now they are going to go the field goal route.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, the only thing maybe they were trying to do was draw the Wonders offside. Of course, that would only got you half the distance. But 3 is better than none, I guess. Something positive out of the possession. That'll put it a 15-point deficit if it's good. So still, you're just 2 scores away. Bradley Reynolds now to attempt the extra 3-pointer try. Snap is bobbled. And here comes Cunningham, and he gets away still. His knee did not go down, and Evart Johnson finally nailed him on the backside. Man.
And a bad snap and a mishandle because of it, Randy, and it all comes apart.
And the Wonders defense stands up and does their job. And the offense will get onto the field. The line of scrimmage will be marked at the 13-yard line. What a job that Cunningham did to keep his balance, but just too many people to overcome that time.
Well, it was amazing that he stayed alive as long as he did.
Yeah. Nick Safert, the center, leads him out of the huddle. Kraft will have 3 wideouts this time. And they'll toss it to Maddox, trying to get around the corner, cuts it inside, breaks a tackle, breaks another one, loses the ball, picks it up, still on his feet to the 26. Nothing unexciting about that run.
No, Dexter Jones finally brings him down. Looks like another Raider has a cramp problem over there now, but
what a kind bounce Nick got.
Yeah, take a look at this again. And you talked about the Wonders using 3 wideouts the same way South Rand has been using that to spread the defense out. The Wonders used it there. Now look here. Watch the ball bounce right back to him.
Oops, I forgot something. I'll pick it up. Now that is just,
wow.
He's still
something else.
Most guys go, oh no.
Yeah, he actually had to take a couple of steps back to pick it up.
Yeah. It gives them a first down. Toss again this time. They'll cut it against the grain, and up the middle is Brown. The 1-2 punch. Out to the 37-yard line go the Wonders on offense. Near another first down.
Joe Finney on the tackle that time. 2 big runs, Randy, and all of a sudden, instead of being bottled up down deep in their own end, the Raiders, or rather the Wonders, are approaching midfield.
Hats off to the offensive line of Miller, Mann, Safert, Singleton, and Johnson. They're shoving some holes tonight. Toss to Maddox.
All kinds of room.
There goes Nick. Cuts it in, and they get him down from behind inside the Raider 40-yard line. Nick, one man away from breaking that one.
And he almost got away, but Andre Brown grabbed him and just would not turn him loose that time, or Nick would still be running.
A gain of 25 yards on the play. And he made it look so effortlessly.
Now, if Kannapolis goes down and scores here, Randy, it's going to be a 14-point turnaround, basically. Instead of 21-10, you'd have 28-3, and that would be tremendous.
Sheets, the tight end on the right side. And it will be Tron Brown spinning for about a yard. Penetration that time. David Teal, the linebacker, got into the backfield, and we've got
Brown.
An injury.
I think he was upset that somebody was kind of pounding him into the turf that time after he was down.
The clock and the Wonders favor right now with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. They score just as it was at halftime, 21-3. They're kind of rotating Maddox and Brown at the tailback position. And it's Nick's turn this time. There's one man. There's a stiff arm, and Neely held on somehow and got Maddox down at the 26.
Boy, he held on his right. That's like being a water skier behind a boat that time as he was going down the field.
Boy, he didn't let go of that rope, did he?
No.
Kraft in with a play from the sidelines. And you have got Mark Kennedy in the lineup as the blocking back of the fullback. So Mark is getting a little experience in the offensive scheme. Toss to Tron Brown behind Kennedy's block, and he's off. And he is gone. Bye-bye. Touchdown Wonders.
And you know, Randy, the key you said that time was behind Kennedy's block. He made a great block to spring Brown to the outside, and one of the Wonders is hurt.
Could be another cramp as they're starting to show up here in the second half. But Tron Brown.
Take a look again. Now watch this block by number 10 right here. That's what sprung him.
And Nick Gill kind of got in the way downfield as well. So Desmond Miller also the injured Wonder on the field right now. And we will take a break. 2:07 to go in the third period. Here's trying for their fourth successful extra point attempt here now. And a flag before they snap the ball.
I think Kannapolis may have moved on that one. Let's see.
Yep, they did. That'll move it back 5. But actually, it gives the extra point guy a better angle. John Garber, we know, has 42.5-yard range. We saw it earlier. Garber out of the hold of William Kraft.
Teal got it.
Teal cut through, and a little bit of redemption for the Raiders on defense. So the score remains 27-3 with 2:07 to go in the third period. Wonders extend their lead. That guy's defensive efforts and the running of Brown and Maddox, Wonders have built a 24-point lead. As a matter of fact, 12 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns for Brown, 148 yards, and 16 carries and 2 TDs for Maddox.
And we talked about it a minute ago, Randy. What a big turnaround. The Raiders don't score down on the other end. Wonders take it and go all the way and put it in for a touchdown.
Here is Brown this time, picking his way out to the 40-yard line. Nearly got away from the Wonder kick team that time.
Looked like it was Tremaine Robinson who finally got him down.
Tremaine, a backup quarterback to William Kraft for the Wonders.
And how many times do you see quarterbacks making tackles?
Man, that's giving it up for the coach and the team and the whole effort there. Raiders with Reed back in the backfield. Trips to the bottom this time. Sherrill will roll to the air. Looks, pumps once, hits Neely in the seam, and did he hold on at the 48-yard line? They're going to give him an inch.
Well, that combination, Sherrill to Neely's been pretty effective tonight, Randy.
Neely had 2 receptions and 1 touchdown. catch coming into tonight's game is adding to those totals.
I don't think there's much question about who Sherrill's favorite receiver is.
Yeah. Well, it's just whoever can get open. And Neely's done the best job tonight, it looks like. They've got 3 receivers to the short side this time. This could get interesting. Now they'll run it. Oh, making the tackle is the offensive lineman, actually.
Well, what happened, Randy, there's a flag down. Ricky Mann absolutely shoved the center, Terry Jackson, into the backfield and bounced him off the running back that time.
And Mann is 100 pounds lighter than Jackson.
And I mean, he just drove him back.
Philip Johnson got the cramps again. It's amazing. Turn a little cool after all the hot weather, and we're seeing them in abundance right now. 1:16 to go in the third period. A break in the action here at Raider Stadium.
We got
for holding back at the 35-yard line. It sets up 2nd and 16. Philip Johnson up off the field after the cramps. And Sherrill pops it up. And a little collision there. Neely, the intended receiver.
But again, Randy, when he goes to that side, Sherrill has been high on his passes just about all night.
Hard to throw against the brain there, so to speak.
He's much more effective working on the right side than he is the left.
Got to bring up 3rd and long with 1:04 to go in the third period. Tell you one thing, it's like a high jumper out there, this Rowan Caldwell kid. He is. Probably can dunk it over the goalpost if he wanted to. Single setback. Sherrill straight drop this time. Pumps, forced out of the pocket. Man chasing him. Now he throws it up across and has a receiver open at the 46-yard line, making the catch. Reed out of the backfield, but a flag is down at the back there where Sherrill let the ball go.
I think it's going to be a late hit on Ricky Mann, who came in and popped Sherrill after he threw the ball.
And that wasn't a dead ball foul, so.
This will give him the first down, though. Let's see. No, it's going to be against the Raiders.
Can you believe that?
Man.
You're talking about the center being still a growing boy, Terry Jackson. We talked a little bit in the first half. Michael Nicholson, 325 as senior.
Yeah, he's up there on the left side, number 78.
I want to get Nicholson and Jackson on my side if any kind of problems break out at the stadium.
Yeah. And a costly penalty for the Raiders here.
Back to the 15, 16-yard line is where they'll spot it.
Man, and they've got to get to midfield for a first down.
It still's not as long as that 4th and goal at the 40.
Yeah.
That Kannapolis had. I think the longest yardage I've seen where they had to get a first down was at Concord. It was in a playoff years ago. It was Caldwell or somewhere. It was like 3rd and 70 or something. They just went back. They got back-to-back unsportsmanlike. They just say the ball might be in the air here. Sherrill throwing it deep. This one going to be almost picked off. Caldwell thought he had it. And
pretty good job out there, yeah, by Andre Brown to try and get a hand in there and break it up.
Michael Keene, a little upset. Says, think, man, think. 4th down, or excuse me, 3rd and 34.
Nope.
4th down, that's right. Punting time, and Bean is on. Maddox, the deep back.
And the Raiders, I think Randy had to waste the timeout because they didn't have enough men on the field. Coming in there late is Andre Brown. So they've got to burn a timeout now to get the proper number of people on the field.
Well, the South Rowan troubles will continue for at least another week. They'll go 0-3 on the season. And when is the last time a Raider team started the year? But look at their opponents. They hit East Rowan, which is probably one of the favorites in the South Piedmont Conference this year. Then you got the Wonders at home. West Rowan, which is improving. So they have not had what you call a easy non-conference schedule.
Well, back in the preseason, Coach Rick Van Hoy was talking and said, you know, our schedule is so tough at the first part of the season, we could play very well and still wind up 0-4.
And guess who they got next week? They go up to Spencer to take on North Rowan, and that's an air express.
Yeah.
They've got a new quarterback up there. He threw for 414 yards and 5 touchdowns last year.
That Powers kid finally graduated. He
Yeah.
was there for 15 years, wasn't he?
That's what Bruce Harden said. He said he finally got a chance to coach him in the Shrine Bowl. He's finally on his side for a change.
Yeah.
Bean back inside the 5-yard line. Good snap. No pressure. Good kick. Hits at the 45 and will bound backwards and will be stopped at the 42-yard line upfield by Cunningham of the Raiders. So South Rowan giving up a lot of field position there with those penalties. And the Wonder offense trots onto the field. They're going to announce this half and half winner here in a minute.
Yeah.
But Steve Gann is over to our left. Watch out.
0-7-0.
There's about $1,300 that the Booster Club has raised. I don't see anybody passing out yet.
Yeah, it's like getting the publisher's sweepstakes, isn't it? New running back.
In the backfield for the first time tonight, number 27, Corey Maxwell, the 165-pound junior. So that will be the final play of the third period. 27-3. The Wonders lead it by 24. Put 12 more minutes up. We'll be right back. As we return to Raider Stadium, first play of the fourth quarter. We'll bring up third down and long here for the Wonders. Just inside the Raider. What?
Okay, well,
They switched ends.
yeah, I know that, but I thought it was only second down.
A lot of new faces in for the Wonders.
It is. It's 3rd and 7 now.
3rd and 7. It was 2nd and 9. Now it's 3rd and 7 after the play. And this will be Maddox who is checked back in. I thought his night might be through. There's a flag late. Somebody with an illegal block or some holding doing on the offensive line for Kannapolis probably. And they might surpass the Russian leaders.
Yeah,
Maddox had a pretty good lead there a while ago. He had 140 yards. 148 yards. So.
Going to be another clip against Kannapolis, and boy, they've had that one, 3 or 4 times?
I think they've got that one diagnosed pretty good. Back we go on the other side of the 50. The bugs are starting to come in over here at Raider Land. Early in the year, we usually come up a little bit later when it's cool. Of course, they're not nearly as bad as the one in Stanley County. I want to tell you.
Look at that. They did it 100 yards. And I guarantee you, they'll run 103 laps in practice this week.
They got 11 more minutes to go here.
Now what?
Ivar Johnson has checked in as the blocking back. Tron Brown is back in at tailback. 3rd down and a bundle. They need the 31-yard line of the Raiders for the first down.
Wow.
Not going to do it that way. Standing Brown straight up was Teal.
Nice stop by Teal.
It seems like, I guess, Bruce saying that Teal's played 8. Well, he's talking about Chambers. But Teal's played about 8 years over here at South. Of course, we had a guy named Joey Teal who played about 3 or 4 years at Kannapolis. So
There are Teals all over the place.
there's Teal over at Charlotte Coliseum, too.
Yeah. You got Cunningham and Neely going deep for the Raiders here. What a kick.
Nice kick by Jenkins. This one up in the lights. Finally fielded at the 20-yard line, sidestepping a couple of guys, and here we go. Cunningham almost breaking it out to the 41-yard line.
Antoine Spicer came from behind to run him down. Flag is down, back downfield near the 20.
That'll probably negate a fine punt return. It was dropped in the vicinity where all the congestion occurred.
Nice run by Cunningham. And another clip. That's been the predominant penalty tonight. That and delay a game.
Well, they'll step it off. They're disgusted with the Wonders whether they want to. Obviously, you want to back them up.
Oh, yeah, you can't let them have the ball near midfield when you got that penalty.
Well, the Wonders next week, we talked about South Rowan going to North Rowan. Kannapolis will be home against Sun Valley.
Well, Randy, we've talked a lot about the Kannapolis penalties tonight, but here a couple of times the Raiders penalties haven't been as numerous, but they come at critical times. Once down near the goal line, and another one here negates a great run back.
Backs them all the way up to their 11-yard line. Sherrill forced to put it in the air, being chased out of the backfield. Throws it upfield, up for grabs, and incomplete. Flag is down late on the other side.
Looks like it's going to be against the Raiders, probably. Let's see.
Tell you what, if you're Sherrill.
Another cramp downfield for the Wonders.
Usually it occurs on a hot night, but I guess if you're a Wonder lineman, running a little bit more with that spread offense at Southern Boys, so you're covering a little bit more ground.
They had an ineligible receiver downfield that time for South Rowan, and it looked like maybe Teal got a little bit too far upfield, and that was the call.
So it will be loss of down as well, I believe, on that penalty. They'll take the penalty, moving back to the 6.
Yeah. Piling them up themselves, 7 for 63.
As we highlight that in the red. They're going to say first and 15. A break in the action for the injury with 10:08 to go in the fourth period. Out at 15 at the 6-yard line. Sherrill to the air again. Dumps it upfield and...
Wow, did he catch it?
He held on somehow. Notice an incomplete. Jarred loose. Caldwell with another backside hit there.
Childress was the intended receiver, and he had it for a moment, but that's the second time, Randy, we've seen Caldwell come up and jar the ball loose when the Raider had their hands on it.
Just when you think it's safe to go into the pass pattern. 4 of 11 in the passing department for Charles Sherrill, the senior quarterback for South. We will see the Raiders a couple of more times this year against Northwest Canaris in a couple of weeks. And then on the road up at West Forsyth, I believe, later in the year. Sherrill out of the flat this time. Getting great out of the backfield. He got about 3, maybe 4 yards. Surrounded by white and green that time.
Desmond Miller looked like the first Wonder there.
Well, they pursue. That team speed, especially the down lineman, is just...
Well, Sherrill wanted to go a little further downfield that time, Randy, but finally had to dump it off short because he couldn't find anybody else open, and the Wonders were, again, right where they're supposed to be.
Trips to the far side this time. One receiver to the near side of the field. On 3rd and 12. Sherrill airs it out. This one's up for grabs. And it's caught by South Rowan at the 31-yard line. And making a good catch is Neely.
And Sherrill is trying to hurry him up and get him to the line of scrimmage this time here. But he was under some heavy pressure back there that time from Willie Poore and was still able to get it off. Neely came back to the ball, and that's what actually enabled it to be a completion because Keene had pretty good coverage.
And it gives the Raiders a first down and gets them out of the hole with 9 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Sherrill, straight drop. Oops. Got to get rid of it. Dumps it upfield. And Reed catches it and holds on somehow, but namely number 51 over there. Man, he actually, 71. My apologies. Johnson again with a tackle.
He pounded him, didn't he?
They lost 3 on the pass completion.
Boy, how many times can Sherrill pump fake in one play? I guess that's the way you keep those big old guys off of you for a beat or two longer.
They got to stop, put it in overdrive, keep on coming. 2nd and 12. Man. Sherrill again to the air. And the battle is on. Who's going to get it? Incomplete. Nick Gill over there fighting with one of the four receivers. You got Page, who's a flanker, Darman sometimes, Childress, Neely, Cunningham in the pattern. And now Brown will re-enter the lineup for the Raiders with the play from Coach Rick Van Hoy. Leon Smith, number 77, the offensive guard. He's one of those seniors up front, 217 pounds. He's a small guy for him on the line. Third down and 12. Sherrill running for his life, now throws it short side, coming back on the ball and making a fine catch at the 39-yard line is number 23, Darrell Childress. He's only a sophomore, and it's going to be a good one before his playing days are ended here in South.
Yeah, got to go for it here, Randy, if you're going to have any chance at it at all.
Remember a couple of years ago, the Wonders with that fourth quarter burst, Tron Brown went crazy that night.
Yeah.
They put, about 3 touchdowns on the board, and about this time of the game.
Yeah.
The Raiders had them look like covered 2 years ago.
Now, watch Randy here for Sherrill to kind of pump fake and keep it for himself and see if he can find a seam to run through.
Has not run much tonight on 4th and 3. Throwing it deep.
He's open.
And the protection breaks down, and down on the ground is Brown at about the 28-yard line. 3 white shirts in the vicinity.
He was behind the defense back there, Randy, was Brown, but the ball was just a little short, and he had to wait on it.
A little too much air up under it. And the ball will go over. So the Wonder offense.
Another cramp.
They're trying to work things out on their own there before the trainer gets there. Is Reed, and I believe he's going to be up okay. He had a preliminary cramp.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're going to make him come out of the game because the officials actually blew the whistle to stop play. Make sure he was okay, so you have to leave unless you want to burn a timeout.
Wonder offense will take over at the South 39-yard line with 7:12 remaining. William Kraft, who has gone all the way tonight, quarterback still in there. A few new faces have been spotted. Evar Johnson, the outback. The toss will go to Tron Brown. And Brown is down the sidelines, tripped up near a first down. 33 on the coverage. Dexter Jones, the linebacker, over to make the tackle. You keep saying that with a big lead like this, 7 minutes to go in the game, don't look for the Wonders to throw the ball. Well, most teams don't, but Annapolis hasn't thrown it much anyway.
Yeah, well, they've been so successful on the ground, they haven't had to.
They'll move Sheets over on the right side. And the deal will go to the tailback this time for about 2. That is Nick Maddox. You couldn't ask for more equal bookends in that backfield tonight. Their rushing stats, their touchdowns are even.
I still say, though, a key turning point in this game, Randy, is early, middle part of the third quarter. The Raiders had gotten it down inside the 5-yard line, come away with no points. The Wonders take it and go all the way to the other end and put 6 on the board.
That was the one that maybe put the exclamation point on the game. Toss to Maddox, trying to cut it in, and the Raiders do a good job of containing it. 35 over there to make the hit for South Rowan was DeMarcus Streeter. He's only a freshman.
Look at those numbers for Tron Brown. 19 carries, 153 yards. Everybody talks about Nick Maddox for Kannapolis, but this guy here is for real, and he's been doing the job all night tonight.
Now let me talking about Brown and Maddox.
Yeah.
Brown had 91 yards last week in their win against Statesville. Hopping up the middle this time for about 4 yards goes Brown.
Officials timeout. Looks like one of the Kannapolis players is hurt down there.
So breaking the action with 5:27 remaining in the ballgame. Not much you can do there except do a little character check right now and hope to keep the Wonders off the board here in the final 5 minutes of action. They have it here 4th down at 6.
Wow, look at that misdirection. Great call.
There goes Maddox to the end zone. Touchdown.
Now, Randy, when we look at this replay, you'll see the whole flow of this play headed toward the top of your screen or the left side. The only guy going right down at the bottom of your picture is Nick Maddox, and almost nobody was home for the Raiders. See how it all flows up? Maddox comes back this way, and there's nobody there to catch him. Great call by the Wonder coaches.
Desmond Miller with a good block on the end to seal it off there. Third touchdown of the night for Nick Maddox. And the funny part, he came all the way around, picked the ball up, and kind of shuffled it back. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going. Out of the hold of William Kraft. Here is Garber's extra point, and it's true. 5:05 to go in the game. 34-3. Wonder kickoff coming up. Our score, Woody Gaines. Man, what can you say about Maddox and Brown except I enjoy watching them.
You look marvelous. That's what we can say. They have really done the job tonight. And again, you mentioned it earlier, Randy, give a lot of credit to that Kannapolis offensive line.
Sheets kicks it deep. They're Cunningham at the 10. He's at the 20. And he's down at the 25. Caldwell on the coverage.
Boy, I thought they were going to pull him apart like a wishbone there for a minute. They had a hold of each leg, it looked like, and were just yanking on him.
They're still playing as if the score is 6-3 or something like that.
I'm sure that that's something that they're doing to try and appease the coaches because of the penalties and the mistakes they made. Even though it's 34-3, as a coach, you never want your guys to get too high or too low. And even after they've had 2 big wins now for Kannapolis, the coaches will remind them, yeah, but you had 100 yards in penalties. Take a lap.
Man, oh man. Maybe that'll be one less lap for that good play there. New quarterback in for the Raiders. As Brown runs it up. Tim Cook is a freshman, Woody.
Yeah.
65 pounds, 6 foot.
Giving him some snaps, looking toward the future here because, you know, one day he's going to have to do the job. But a nice tackle that time, dragged the ball carrier down from behind, Danny Jenkins.
Well, we haven't said much about Brown. I don't think we said that Andre Brown was in the backfield. He's a freshman. We haven't said it earlier in the broadcast, but a lot of youth back there right now. Brown with the ball, up the middle, into the secondary, and out to the 48-yard line.
Boy, back on the stop for the Wonders that time, Tony McKinney, along with a couple of others. But, you know, you're saying, well, why haven't the Raiders been doing this all night? Well, the Wonders aren't concerned about anything here but the clock, making that time go away and not letting the Raiders get the big play to get a quick score.
You'll give them 15 yards up the middle. 4 minutes, 5 seconds in the fourth period. As Cook relieving Sherrill, toss to Brown, good block, and Kennedy fights his man off and makes a good play defensively.
Sure did.
He along with Ivar Johnson over there.
That was a nice play by Kennedy.
Kennedy, another one of these seniors who was kind of disappointed. He said, we didn't play Kannapolis football last year. Well, believe me, that looks like they're playing Kannapolis football tonight. 8 carries, 53 yards tonight for Brown. And he'll get the call again. Tripped up at midfield.
Looks like Nick Seyfried got a hand on him as he was headed for the hole up the middle that time and tripped him up.
Next week we're down at Mount Pleasant against Albemarle. And I think we see the Raiders in 2 weeks against Northwest Cabarrus. That's always a good game.
Yeah, a bunch of good games going on this weekend too. You got Central Cabarrus and Forest Hills. That should be an interesting matchup.
Interesting to see. I tell you what, you can't get too high with that big win over Mount because you got Forest Hills coming to town.
Right.
Around the corner is Brown. He's wrestled out of bounds by Nick Gill for a loss. And that will stop the clock. Actually, they say he did not get out of bounds. Clock running, 2.5 minutes to go. We certainly appreciate the hospitality of Principal Alan King and Rick Van Hoy and all the folks here at South Rowan do each and every time our crew comes up. Our truck wouldn't fit in inside the fence this year.
Yeah, hey, don't forget about that AD who used to be down on the sidelines.
Yeah, a guy named Deal, I think. Larry, best wishes to you. Hope you're doing fine.
Uh-oh, Randy, look out now.
Bean picks it up. It's blocked. He picks it up again and falls on it. So Joe Bean, the punter, is not supposed to take a beating, but that's why they wear helmets too back there. The Wonders will take over at the Raider 36-yard line. And a lot of white shirts with no grass stains coming on the field. There's the storyline and the difference tonight.
You want to talk about balance? Look at those numbers right there. 40 carries for over 300 yards for the Kannapolis backfield.
It's unbelievable that they can be that close.
Well, that gives a lot of credit and shows you what kind of a job the offensive line is doing. That shows you right there, even though both those guys are very talented, doesn't matter who's running the ball, the line is doing the job.
Tremaine Robinson in at quarterback. We've got two new guys, Rashad Robinson, and now this is Maxwell. Takes a pounding at about the 33-yard line.
Dexter Jones on the stop that time.
So we got Robinson, Rashad, a junior. Also Tremaine Robinson, a junior. And Maxwell, a junior. So the underclassmen getting a chance, a little experience here in the final. Now almost 90 seconds of action. And the thing about it is they practice as hard. You don't want to you can't really tell them not to go out there and try hard.
Oh, they want to try and impress the coaches and get more playing time.
The toss, well, Maddox is in there now. He'll be wrestled to the ground by about 4 black shirts, led by Teal. And a bring up third down and long. Kannapolis will just try to run the clock out here. And an impressive win tonight. That's an understatement. 34-3. All that remains is the final score. Third and 8. Robinson with a long count, tosses. Here's Maxwell looking around the corner. He's got a seam. 20, 10, and Robinson can't catch him, and Maxwell will score.
Boy, he fought through a tackle. Take a look at it again here, Randy. Again, you'll see him work that right side, the bottom of your picture. He fights through a tackle here, and then there's nobody to catch him. Watch this.
Boy, that looks like a la Nick Maddox run there. He runs so gracefully. This Corey Maxwell might get some more playing time, Woody, after that run.
But again, Randy, you got to give credit to that offensive line. That's the third back who's had a big, long run for the Wonders tonight, and they're just opening up some holes here. They're playing outstanding football up front.
Crabbed in the hole for Garver for another extra point. The snap, the spot, the kick is good. And we have a timeout. 44 seconds to go in the game. It's now 41-3. A.O. Brown. Kane, Steve Gant here at Raider Stadium. Steve Gant will be has already made his way field side. He talked to winning head coach Bruce Harden here at the conclusion of tonight's game.
Well, Steve's lost a few steps. He had to leave in the third quarter to get down there in time.
Yeah, we are a little bit elevated from most positions here. The kickoff. And
look out! Look out!
The Raiders might get on the board. Touchdown, but they got him at the 35-yard line. Brown had paint dirt in his eyes when he crossed midfield. A little excitement here in the closing minute of action.
You know what happened on that, Randy? He wanted to go to the left, but the official was there, and that kind of made him pick another seam, and that gave the Wonder pursuit time to catch up to it. But a nice run back anyway.
So the official with an assist on the tackle there. I should call a penalty on that.
Yeah, well, he didn't touch him, but he was trying to backpedal and get out of the way, and there's no way an official is going to backpedal and outrun one of these young kids.
No. So at the 35-yard line with 35 seconds to go, Cook drops the snap but hands off instead. They got back to the line of scrimmage. And unless they stop the clock, probably one more play in this game.
They got an injured Wonder down in the field there.
They will stop the clock.
Looks like it might be Poor,
who we have said a little bit about, but really has been stable over there. And that defensive stance that he takes, they don't run much on his side.
and even though Randy, Wonders have dominated this game. Late here, the Raiders have some penetration deep into Kannapolis territory. You know that defense is thinking, don't give up the touchdown.
Well, you know, that's
just pride there.
It's pride. It's nice to have, and it's something to shoot at, but I remember, and Steve Gant tells this story back in our high school days. This is back when they had leather helmets.
Yeah, and no face masks,
Right.
and played with a ball made out of rock.
Yeah, South Rowan had won, I think, 5 or 6 straight games, had not ever been scored on, and then Kannapolis came to town, and we stopped them at the 3-yard line, their own 3 on the kickoff. Next play, the guy ran 97 yards for a touchdown.
Ouch.
Oh, boy, that bubble bursted in a hurry.
Willie Poore, by the way, came off under his own power, so it looks pretty good there for him.
On second down, they hit the middle, and nothing much there for Mr. Brown, and that will be your ball game. It has been all A.L. Brown Wonders from the opening snap tonight, and they win convincingly here at Raider Stadium, 41-3, the final score, led by Brown and Maddox. We'll be back to chat with Bruce Hart after this timeout. The final score, the Wonders will go 2-0. The Raiders looking for their first win after 3 starts in the 97 year. And let's go field side right now. Here's Steve Gant.
Thanks, guys. We're with the winning coach, A.L. Brown, or Bruce Hardy from A.L. Brown. Bruce, I tell you, look at the score, 41-3. Fine outing.
That's a good effort by both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and we just felt like we could run the ball, and our defense continues to do an outstanding job. Some of our guys that go both ways get a little tired early, but they're getting in good shape. Yet at the same time, with these 2 victories, we've had an opportunity to play more players, and that's helped them also.
Bruce, I know it's a team effort. I got to single out Nick Maddox and Tron Brown. Those guys had well over 300 yards between them. What a performance.
I tell you what, good things happen to people that work hard like that. Their work ethics is so good, and the linemen really believe if they'll make the blocks, they'll make the yards, and they really run hard. It's just a pleasure to have them in the backfield together.
I tell you, you started off like it's going to be just all your night. You come down here, you moved the ball good on the opening kickoff. Got down here, a couple mistakes. I think it was a misplay, a delay of the game, a couple penalties against you. As a matter of fact, a lot of penalties against you tonight, over 100 yards in penalties.
Yeah, that's something I really don't like, and that's something we talked about in our locker room prior to coming up here, that we looked at that statistic from last week, and we didn't do that. So that's something we've got to go back to the drawing board and correct right off the bat.
Bruce, other than the penalties, did you see anything wrong after tonight? See anything you can improve on?
Oh yeah, anytime that we can make improvement, that's what we do. We sit down, and our guys are used to, and I think they accept the challenge of constructive criticism, because we know we want to make them better players. We want to give some of them an opportunity to maybe play college ball, and our main objective is to win that conference play and play hard every game this year.
Well, speaking of the conference play, I know you got the wins behind you, and any win you can get is a good win. You got to face a tough conference this year, 1997 season.
It really is. It starts next week. In the past, we just playing for kind of prestige or whatever right now, but we have a conference game at home next week, so this is a little different from what it's been the last 4 years.
Bruce, congratulations on a big win tonight, and good luck in the future.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Steve. And here are those final stats. As indicative of the score, Woody, you can pretty much bet they're lopsided here.
Yeah, and you see the 369 yards there. We pointed out that Brown and Maddox had over 300 of that between them. A big run late in the game by Maxwell for a touchdown to 71 on the ground for South Rowan. Passing relatively even, considering that South Rowan had to put it up a good bit toward the end of the game once they fell behind. But look at that total yardage, 426 to 160. Yikes. And then way down there at the bottom, what Steve was asking Bruce Harden about, 11 penalties for 103 yards. They didn't make any turnovers, only 1 for the Raiders. But Bruce Harden and the coaching staff are going to be getting on them about those penalties.
Well, the competition gets tighter toward the end of the year. Those penalties really hurt. So congratulations to the A.L. Brown Wonders, and we hope you'll join us Wednesday night for Headliners live in our studio at 8 o'clock, Mount Pleasant and Albemarle on next week's game. For Woody Kane and Steve Gant, I'm Randy Whitley saying thanks for being with us this week, everyone.